Hi my friends, Simon Miller here, and today we're going to talk about 10 fitness rules you should totally ignore. 10 BCAAs are the enemy. Before we even start this, yes, most BCAA products have been invented by the fitness industry to try and take away your money. So every time you do see a BCAA product, you have to treat it like the person your parents told you about when you were a kid. Don't take candy from strangers. You don't need them at all, and if you were going to plump for one, you would want EAAs, which are essential amino acids, because while you are most definitely getting your BCAAs from food, maybe in a teeny percentage, you're not getting your essential amino acids, but you still probably are. But what few people actually tell you in terms of why you could bring these into your household and get away with it is that yes, dun dun dun, they taste nice. Now I guess you could just go and get some sugar-free squash or something like that, but if you are on a diet and you do have a sweet tooth and you just need something to get you through your day, is there anything wrong with taking some BCAA powder and putting it in some water with an ice cube and going, oh, I have a delicious drink? No, there is not. I mean, it is an expensive way to tick that box, but you shouldn't be made to feel like public enemy number one just because you wanted to buy a branched chain amino acid product. And that's what people do. There are crazy people on Instagram going, if you do this, you're the worst person ever. I'm pretty sure some humans have started wars and you're way down the list compared to them. The most ridiculous part is you honestly get the same individuals advocating getting a syringe and jabbing things into your ass, but not taking BCAA. It's 2023 summed up. Number 9, you can't just get your protein from shakes. Why not? It's a genuine question. Let us ponder it for a while. Now look, is it better you get your protein from actual food? Of course it is. I mean, it's good for sustenance and it's good for nutrition. But if you don't like the idea of shoving chicken up your ass every couple of hours and would much rather just walk to the cupboard and have a protein shake, do you want to know what the big secret is? You are perfectly allowed to do this. I mean, just drink the shake. We're back here again. Just drink it. Which was Nike's second catchphrase. But the whole idea is that we do need a set amount of protein to achieve our goals. I'm not going to throw out an arbitrary number because I don't know what you're trying to do in the fitness palace of love. But if you want to get that by drinking a shake, why shouldn't you be allowed? I mean, do you really think that if all of a sudden you switch from protein shakes to chicken or beef or tuna or whatever it may be, you're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? No, that's not the reason it's holding you back. If you want to take the liquid route, you should be supported. Number 9, not squatting is killing your gains. And sure, to a point, because the squat is one of the greatest exercises ever. I mean, you put a load of weight on your back, you then squat down to your ass before you return into the position you were just in. I mean, it sounds pointless when you explain it like that, but you are hurling a lot of weight around. If you hate squats so much though, you are half-assing them, here is your news bulletin for the day. Don't do them. I mean, what a waste of time and life that is. Do you want to be on your deathbed and just as your eyes close and you go, man, I spent a lot of hours and minutes and days and months doing the squat, even though I didn't like the squat? No, you don't. It's not worth it. I mean, you really are better off smashing leg extensions or leg press if that's what you prefer, because when you do something you enjoy in the fitness palace of love, guess what happens? You're more intense and you're probably going to hit the rep count you're going for in the first place. I mean, there's nothing worse than somebody taking over the squat bar and doing such poor form that they barely move to the point they could have achieved the same damn thing even if they didn't have any knees. And do you want to know what the result of those kind of reps is? Diddly squat. Which now I've said it is kind of ironic and a pun, it must tie in. No, I just looked it up on Google. It is in fact an Americanism from doodle, and doodle means poo or shit. So they're saying you don't know shit. Number 7, you have to train to failure. And do you? Yeah, you can. I do. You want to know why? The answer is going to shock you again. Dun dun dun. Gotta stop doing it. I like it. It has become the number one question again though, because people just have variations of it. Should I train to failure? Should I leave some reps in the tank? What is my perfect rep range? Somebody tell me. The truth of the matter is nice and simple. Your body is probably going to shift around anyway, because sometimes you're going to go into the gym and you are going to feel like Superman or Superwoman. No weight is going to be heavy enough. You'll be able to bust out whatever reps you do want. And when you do get to failure, you're actually going to failure +1, because you're just having a good old time. Then you go tomorrow, and for some reason, it's the complete opposite. You just want to cry. You just want to start making love to a pizza to try and get your dopamine levels going. And even though you were Mr. and Mr. Strong yesterday, now you can't do diddly squat. Now you're still going to push it because that has become ingrained in you by this point, but because you are a sleepy snake, do you know what's going to happen? You're just going to do a few less reps. And all of this is fine. Because don't listen to that nuts guy on Instagram again that yells at you and calls you a pussy, which is both rude and offensive. You train within your needs, always remembering that if you want to properly progress, you have to be intense, more often than not. And that's the key to the sentence. You don't have to do it, and realistically, you're not going to be able to achieve this on every single session, because when you do go to the gym, you want to do it for the rest of your life. This is when you've got to compare it to your place of work. Some days you have productive days, and other days, well, you may as well have been at home in bed. So you do not have to be flat out all the time, unless you're on a bunch of drugs. Number 6, proper form or don't even bother. Which brings us to the second part of this equation, to form or not to form, which is exactly what Shakespeare was talking about. I'm not referring to being safe here either. That should be your number one priority in the gym. You can't even go to the fitness palace of love if you do hurt yourself, so remind yourself constantly you are lifting heavy weights over your head and you should be as protective as possible. So this does mean that you do have to focus on your form, but if you shift out of the pattern a little bit, does it matter? Once again, of course it doesn't. And yet you have all these videos and articles of people screaming at you, which hypocritically I'm also doing right now, saying that if you do not get the perfect form 100% of the time, you should leave the fitness palace of love and never come back. I mean, they treat this like it's the biggest faux pas in the history of the world. As we've already mentioned, there are some human beings that have started wars. So of course this should be on your checklist before you start any single workout, but also be kind to yourself and be kind to your brain, especially if you are a novice lifter. Nobody walked into any kind of situation and all of a sudden had it down. You have to learn, you have to educate. And if anybody does walk up to you and goes, oh man, you're doing it wrong, and doesn't try to help, ignore that guy. They're a massive goober and nobody likes them anyway. I mean, they were doing it at some point too. Just sadly, along the way, they became an asshole. Number 5, only this diet works. We're getting into a pattern now, but this is everywhere too. Because one day it's the keto diet, then it's intermittent fasting, then the warrior diet, then eating every 2 to 3 hours, then just starving yourself. Now, I wouldn't do the latter because I'm pretty sure eventually you'll die, but just tailor-make a diet that works for you and stick to it. And that is the key when it comes to whatever food you're eating. What most people do, and the reason they come out and say, well, my diet isn't working, is because they do it for 10 days, and because they haven't transformed with their perfect physique, they decide, well, it must be the diet. No, you didn't give it long enough. This stuff takes ages. Who do you think you are? Gandalf? No. And then it's like building the house and then wondering why it doesn't have a roof. You haven't built it yet. So do not get caught up in any of that nonsense. Whatever your life schedule is and whatever diet you can fit around that works for you, that's the one that you should do. I'll tell you another reason people get upset, because if you do want to make love to a pizza, you can do that instantly, but losing fat takes weeks and months. I didn't make the rules, I just tell you them. Number 4, this is the right form of cardio. You get the point now, but yeah. Because Stairmaster, treadmill, cross trainer, stationary bike, just wiggling around on the floor, all of these count as cardio, and all of these are fine. You just have to pick one that you do enjoy, because as ever, if you enjoy something, you're more than likely going to do it. All of them will help you get in better shape, all of them will burn calories, and most importantly, they'll all assist your heart. If you do care, I'm doing the Stairmaster at the moment, because it's the one I find most challenging, and I find this is the one that stimulates me the most. If I'm just doing boring, I'm not thinking about it cardio, I shut down, but when I actually have to scale Mount Everest, just bring it. I was doing the cross trainer before this, and I'll never do the treadmill because I hate running, and the bike hurts my knees because I'm old. So there you go. Number 3, never ignore your calves, because if you do, you're the worst person ever. Who knew? But seriously though, if you do want to flub your calves, I'm giving you permission right now to flub your calves. No one ever sees them if you live in Britain anyway, because it's never warm, so you're always wearing trousers. And it only becomes an issue when the sun does come out and you decide to wear shorts and you look in the mirror and you go, biceps pretty good, quads, they've been built. But yeah, those calves, it looks like I'm walking around on 2 sticks. And yeah, this ain't great, but unless you've got no other real problems, I don't think you need to be worrying about it. Ultimately, you're still allowed to be in the Fitness Friends Club. Don't let any of these insane people tell you otherwise. Number 2, you can't out-train a bad diet. Well, you can, but here's the deal. You would need to do a hell of a lot of cardio. And the reason I've thrown this one is there is because there's a new trend to go on silly websites and see some kind of sportsman or some kind of Olympic swimmer and go, well, they're having 5,000 calories a day, which means I must be having 5,000 calories a day. But here's the truth of it, you are not being paid to be a professional athlete. I mean, these guys and girls are literally spending hours a day in a pool, or hours a day on a tennis court, or hours a day on a field. So you know the deal, you know what it breaks down to. It's calories in and calories out. And not only are they burning them off, but they're probably using a lot of them as damn fuel. And it's mostly the phrasing I don't like, because look at it this way. You shouldn't be trying to out-train anything. You should have a diet that supports whatever training sessions you are doing right now. We have to get rid of all this negativity when it comes to food. Food is not a bad thing. And if you want to have a chocolate bar on a Wednesday, do you think all of a sudden you're going to wake up the next day and have lost all your gains? Of course you're not. You've got to be kind to yourself. Stop being stupid. Which is me not being kind to you. Also, if your muscles do just fade away, don't worry about the gym. Go to the flipping doctor. Number 1, you have to suffer. Ah, this old classic. But it's very much an old school mentality where once again you do get people going nuts at you, saying that as soon as you go to the gym, you must be in pain and you must suffer. Now look, if you're training super hard, does it hurt? Yes. Can sometimes a diet be the hardest thing in the world? Yes. Is it possible to have DOMs so much that you want to cry? Yes. But I do all of those things and I absolutely love it. Like, I actively have a good time when I am in the fitness palace of love, and I tie this into my diet too. I think it's nice to be healthy. And I absolutely prefer this kind of approach to eating cheese all day long. Like, I could do that for a good 2 days, but I tell you, after 48 hours, I'm gonna be like, can I have some broccoli? I don't want no more cheese. I mean, eventually that's gonna lose its novelty anyway, and all your friends are gonna call you the weird cheese guy, and I will say this until the day that I die, because I think it's that important. You are allowed to enjoy the gym. And it will certainly help you because you're more likely to keep it up, and you should be nice to yourself. Because if you don't know, you are you. And if you are not being nice to you, how is anybody else? And that really didn't make any sense, but hey ho, I've said it now, but I do think you should take this information on and just remind yourself there's so many things going on in your life. You don't need to make working out any harder than it already is. Now, please do click the video that's going to pop up on the screen, maybe just now or in a few seconds, where we all discuss how in 2023 you must film yourself in the gym for liking the video, sharing the video, and subscribing. And why not leave a comment? You can also go to gorillamined.com/Simon and use code Simon to get 10% off. These are the supplements I use, and I'm very happy to advocate because they're awesome. Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to go there. I'm on Cameo, such as Simon Miller for personalized video messages. I have merchandise as well, pro wrestling tees and Samsung Athletics. All of this is in the description below. But otherwise, I send you all good cheer when it does come to your Fitness Palace of Love sessions today, which is also one of my t-shirts. Go kick its ass. See you soon.